I was ready. I don't know what does.
Yeah, boy, does that really confirms it right there.
Boy, howdy. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
All across America and around the world, children listen with thrill and excitement in their hearts as evangelist Tim Todd takes his little dummy friend Freddie out of his suitcase to share life-changing Bible stories.
Remind me not to take a dump in that hole.
This is the morning stream. A rat turd.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to TMS. It is the morning stream for Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. I'm Scott. He's Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hello, Scott. How are you?
Oh, I don't know, man. I feel like I have more energy today than I have in a few days, but now I also look at my day and I realize I will expend it all on a million things that are already lined up. There's a lot going on today.
I could tell in pre-show you had a lot of energy, like a lot of singing, a lot of joking,
juking, jiving,
rapping,
all that. Rapping. Oh yeah, always rapping, always be rapping. I say.
ABR.
Baby. It's the deal is so there's a lot going on today, but today. Some people will be like, wait a minute, I thought you ended the instance. We did. But Core is doing an interview with a World of Warcraft dev after their announcement of whatever their new expansion will be today. And so we'll be putting an interview on Core, talking about whatever 10.0 is in World of Warcraft.
Oh, wow. 10.0.
If you can imagine. It's pretty crazy.
Can't even imagine.
That announcement comes in about 45 minutes from Blizzard themselves, so maybe we'll see what that is. But
yeah, maybe.
Dragons is what everyone's saying. Dragons, so we'll see.
Sure,
whatever that means. The important part is, I heard somebody yesterday say the term "running mythic Anduin," okay, which is a thing you can do right now in the game.
Okay,
that sounds ridiculous. If you go back 10 years, 10 years when Anduin's a little whiny kid, and you hear the term, "I need to run mythic Anduin," that sounds like an insane thing to say to anybody out loud.
Yeah, it does.
But anyway, that'll all soon be behind us and new expansion, and we'll see what happens. So watch for that. And that'll be, like I mentioned, on Core tonight. Sometime I'll put the file up after Play Retro. All right, Brian, today is a day where I want to play a thing for you that you probably missed. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
I believe
it was like a thing I missed because I wasn't there for it?
You just missed it because maybe the same reason I missed it. I just didn't know it existed. Just happened. Okay. You and I are both maybe not rabid, like watch every episode type guys, but we like David Letterman when he was on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Dave's a massive influence for me over the years. And he did an interview once with Harrison Ford, and I didn't know about this interview. And Harrison Ford says some pretty interesting stuff. So I wanted to play this for you. It's a joke. Harrison Ford tells a joke.
All right.
And whether you think it's funny or not will depend on how you feel after you hear it, okay? So
oh, no. Okay.
So here it is. This is Harrison Ford telling a joke to Dave a couple years ago. It may have been his well, of course it was a couple years ago. He hasn't been on since 2015, but it may have been Dave's last week. It was one of those deals where everybody dressed up and had all his favorites on or whatever. Mm-hmm. Anyway, here is Harrison Ford, a.k.a. Han Solo, a.k.a. Indiana Jones. We named the dog Indiana. All that stuff.
Sure.
Telling this joke. Check it out.
So this guy's working in the produce department at the grocery store, and a lady walks up and she says, "Excuse me." He says, "Yes." She says, "Where's the broccoli? I can't find the broccoli." He said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, ma'am." He says, "We ran out of broccoli. We'll have some tomorrow morning." And he goes back to his work, and he's stacking the oranges, and he hears behind me, Mister. And he turns around, and it's the same lady. She says, "Where's the broccoli? You got any broccoli?" He says, "No, ma'am. We're fresh out of broccoli. We'll have some tomorrow morning." Goes back to work. A couple of minutes later, this woman walks right up in his face, and she says, "How come I can't find any broccoli?" He says, lady, he says, do me a favor, will you? She said, what? He says, how do you spell, indulge me, how do you spell cat? He says, like in catastrophic. She says, C-A-T. He says, how do you spell dog? Like in dogmatic. She says, D-O-G. He says, how do you spell like in broccoli? She says, there is no fucking broccoli. He says, that's what I'm trying to tell you, lady.
Man, he's got an unusual delivery style. First off, it's just weird hearing Harrison Ford be funny outside of a character that he plays.
I agree. Such a curmudgeon otherwise.
Yeah, he seems like it, right? Just a bad pilot golf course landing curmudgeon.
That's true. Also, he hasn't done this. I feel like this bit here.
Broccoli. She says, there is no fucking broccoli. He says, that's what I'm trying to tell you, lady.
Yeah. I feel like he hasn't yelled like that since like Temple of Doom or something. It's been...
Well, that and hearing an F-bomb out of him is weird, yeah.
Well, that's true, yeah. But I just thought that was a nice little treat. And he does sound old. And guys, he is old. That was 5 years ago. Or no, I'm sorry, 7.5 years ago. Imagine how old he is now. 7.5 years later. You don't have to imagine. Yeah.
That was very shortly after he got in a refrigerator and survived an atomic blast.
Yeah, that was an important moment in cinema history that we should never forget.
Never forget.
Really powerful stuff. Really
I would be fine if Indiana Jones 5, which I guess is still Mads Mikkelsen says it's a return to Raiders of the Lost Ark style Indiana Jones.
That would be nice. They should have never left that style.
I agree.
Like, what is the point of leaving that style in the first place? So that's good,
right.
But yeah, I guess that's still
we don't need a family comedy. Indiana Jones. We don't need it.
Let's see. Indy 5. Let's get a release date. Do we have one?
Although I guess Indy 3 was technically family comedy. It's just weird how they did so well with 3 and so poorly with 4 when it was introduce a new family member and have them come along with you on the adventure.
Yeah, I guess that's what they were trying to replicate there, I suppose.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, here it is. Indy 5. Here's what we know. Oh, Spielberg's not directing it.
No,
James Mangold is doing it. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel he made Logan. No, that was a good movie. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. And Spielberg made Temple of the Forbidden Eye or whatever it was called, Crystal Skull.
Crystal Unit there. Okay, Let's see here. You got your Harrison Ford. You got your Mads Mikkelsen. Of course, your Phoebe Waller-Bridge is in there.
She's great.
Yeah. Antonio Banderas, Toby Jones. This is a decent cast.
Indiana Jones and the Lost Fleabag.
Yeah.
That's what's going to be called. Yeah.
Yep. It says the plot is unknown at this time and there is no release date. So enjoy. 2023, it says. So we have a year. It's next year. And if they don't hurry up, Harrison Ford might not be with us. So come on, get on.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, heaven forbid. You don't want that guy to die.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, what'll be left? Just the ranch and lawyer girl living on the ranch? What's her name? His current wife, who was on that show where she was a lawyer, Ally McBeal.
Yeah, Callista Flockhart.
Callista Flockhart, just running the ranch, keeping the cows fed and all that.
That's right. What was the remind me of the Futurama Ally McBeal equivalent? What was it? It was something female lawyer.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah,
the one where Lure and his people and
gets hooked on.
I love that one. I can't think of it.
Just single female, sexy female lawyer.
I think it's single female lawyer. I think that's it.
Single female lawyer.
Yeah, it's definitely not sexy. Yeah, it was a great episode. Good stuff. Anyway, there's that. Hey, I had a Vegas dream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In a week from now, we're in Vegas. It's happening.
We are, yes.
And so here's the deal.
And been meaning to ask you, by the way, are Nick and Carter? I know Kim's coming, obviously, but
kids are not. Carter's got a big work thing, and Nick is working 2 jobs right now, so he is not going.
Gotcha. So the big party will be at the Johnson House from the 25th to the...
Yeah, I got all those cameras aimed squarely at the...
Kegger!
Yeah, my guess is it'll be Carter, a dog, and that'll be it. But anyway, so we get to Vegas in this dream, and for some reason we all arrive together in an entourage-style arrival.
Okay.
So it's me and you and everybody all just kind of in a big wad.
Like the opening credits of the HBO series, or you mean just we all show up at the same time?
I can't say because I've never seen that series, not even once. So I don't know. But maybe it matches that.
Yeah.
But we're all together, and we come in like a big entrance, and I don't know what casino it is, but it's a fancy one.
Okay.
And we open the doors, and there's people lined up on the left and on the right, just throngs of people. And they just erupt in applause. We walk in, there's clapping and screaming and whatever. And we get up there and we go to the main desk, and those people are so eager to help us. They're so stoked. Oh, Mr. Ibbott, can I take your bags? No need for tips here. We're doing this all for you. And Mr. Johnson, do you need anything? Can we get you anything? You know, just this whole like Mr. Ibbott, Mr. Johnson treatment.
Yeah.
And here's the best part of the dream. So as soon as we're done checking in, we turn around, and right behind us are two pedicure or mani-pedi stations.
Mani-pedi, okay, all right.
And a little Asian lady on each one, which is just, a stereotype that you see a lot of Asian folks doing that. So we turn around, and me and Brian pop down, pull our shoes off, and we get pedicures right there in the thing, and people are going, oh! Just clapping.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I was already like hating this like walk through the wedding tunnel kind of experience, and then you brought in like, oh, I'll have to take my shoes off in front of listeners.
Yep.
What?
Yep, in front of everybody, our big gnarly feet out on full display, and they love it. They love it. They just eat it up, and that's where I woke up. So
okay,
don't know where that's
With some of the other dreams you've had, I'm glad it ended there. I'm glad that's where things...
Yeah, I heard the dog bark. Now, had the dog not barked, perhaps I would have gotten more. But you'll all have to come to Vegas and see what happens after the pedicures. I don't know.
Yes, exactly.
Hopefully something okay and not terrible.
Yeah, and don't, it sounds fun, but don't try to make this happen, people. I'm not getting a mani-pedi anytime during TMS Vegas.
Yeah, you could tell me. Okay, I've had one of these done once in my entire life.
Yeah,
and it was my sister-in-law.
Yeah, me too. Just one.
It was my sister-in-law.
I went there with Tina. She's like, let's go get a pedicure.
Yeah.
I've never had a manicure.
Yeah,
so let's go get a pedicure.
And there's no audience for that. You just go do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I felt weird the whole time. Like I wanted to chit chat with the woman working on my feet, and it's a stereotype, but she was an Asian woman.
Little Asian woman. Yeah.
And she didn't. She was not talking. I don't think she understood me. So
no, she just saw the work ahead of her and got to it. I get it.
Right, exactly. I think that's what you do too. If you have to work on people's feet all day long, your mind is anywhere else. You are at Knott's Berry Farm with your brain for those for that 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Writing Montezuma's Revenge.
She's I'd love to know what their happy place is while they're working on my gnarly feet.
Yeah,
but feet are gross, and I don't want an audience for feet ever. So I know there's some people that are really into feet. Hey, no judgment here.
Power to you. Hey, do you see my movie? Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction,
check my movie out? Hey, you like the Pulp Fiction?
You show your feet. I don't require nudity. I require feet.
No, it's in the briefcase? I'm not going to tell you it's in the briefcase.
Yeah, and my new movie, it's all feet. It's called Inglorious Feet. And there's all feet. Anyway, okay, so there's that.
Yeah.
Quick email from a listener here at the top of the show. This is from Zach in what he refers to as way too snowy for April, Alberta, Canada. I feel you, dude.
Yeah.
Although yesterday we had like 73-degree weather. It was beautiful. Sat in the sun for a bunch. It was nice. And now today it's going to be cold again, so F that. Anyway, he says, hey, Skrizzle and Brizzy. Okay, I don't know what Brizzy means, but Brian, you're going to have to live with it.
Yeah, I'm Brizzy. Like, it's just what you do.
Yeah? Brizzy?
In the hizzy.
Okay, you're Brizzy in the hizzy?
Snoop says he just takes the first consonant and adds izzy or izzle or whatever after it. That's all he's doing.
Does he still do that? I wonder. Like, it's kind of an early aughts thing, and I wonder if he kept that going. Yeah, you think for shizzle? He's still...
No, I bet he doesn't. I bet, because I don't... You never hear anybody do it anymore, so...
Yeah, I feel like he maybe ran that chorus. Right around the time the Snoop Lion thing ended, he stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, Skrizzle and Brizzy, I have an idea regarding Will Wheaton not reprising his Wesley role for the show Picard, like we talked about the other day. He says, I think he is better known as a Star Trek fan / famous geek than he is a Star Trek character. He is kind of a meme these days, and I think it'd be even more difficult to take him seriously now than it was back in the TNG days. Possible.
Yeah.
I still think it would be a fun moment of just, okay, there's some, we can put some Wesley lore to bed, or at the very least, maybe in this new Picard episode, they can all be sitting around talking, or in this new season, and talking about the old days, and then one of them will say, "Oh, remember that time Wesley broke that thing and almost got put to death?" And then they all get somber and go, "Oh yeah, Wesley." He had a,
right. Oh yes, rest in peace, Wesley.
Yeah, that horrible accident.
Like or they could even just like have him almost get beamed into the into the teleportation bay, right? Like he goes, "Hey everyone!"
Yeah, just a chunk of him. Hey, it's good to see you, Mom. Anyway,
exactly. Yeah.
He also says, by the way, I just got back to this show after 3 years. So stoked! It's just as awesome as I remember. I'm glad to be back. Love the show, though, Zach from Alberta.
Aww.
Well, where'd you go, Zach?
Back.
We were here the whole time. Where'd you go, buddy?
We were here the whole time.
We never left, but you did, and
I'm
that's
sure,
okay.
People, that happens to people, right? They get distracted by something, or they go and find another show that's not as good, and they give it a chance. They give it a chance for maybe 3 years, and they realize, wow, this is just not as good as TMS, and then they come back.
That's true. And we've said since the beginning, like all terrestrial morning shows, the idea isn't that you catch every freaking second, although I know there's some of you out there. Okay, I get it, and it's fine. You can do whatever you want. But the idea isn't that you make sure you're there for every single second. The thing is that it's like exists, and it's there for you, and you have it when you have it. And if there's a time where you don't, it's okay. Because
let's not give them an out. Don't give them an out, Scott.
All right, no outs. That's it.
No outs.
Stay here. You can never leave. Yeah. Tally says Wesley learning to become the Traveler could be. So is that how he's out? Is that lore? Is that like canon that he's a Traveler? I mean, he's in that episode, and the Traveler takes him out of there. But then I don't know if we ever get any kind of resolution. And he was at the wedding. For not Worf, Riker and Zippy Troy. that happened for a brief second. Yeah. So if he's the Traveler, he came out of travel mode for a hot second for a wedding, and then he got back into it. So I don't know. I don't remember.
That would be a great way to to continue his story on as having being a Traveler, or even member of the Q continuum. Wesley the Q.
Oh, Q Wesley would be stupid.
Wesley.
That'd be
Qwesleeeeeeeeeeeey.
Super stupid. Qwesleeeeeeeeeey. Nobody wants Qwesleeeeeeeeey. Oh, Qwesleeeeeeeey's a terrible idea. Don't do it. Don't do it, Rick Berman or whoever's in charge now. Forget the new guy's name. Anyway, hey Brian, what's Shrillick? Schlierick. What is that? I don't know what that is.
So a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Wordle and Quordle and Actorly and Heardle or Hurdle, depending on how you pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, the one I'd love to make is one where you get a song lyric and you keep getting additional song lyrics and you keep guessing until you get it, or until you make 6 guesses and get out.
Yeah.
And Jack Fox in our incredible TMS Tadpool community said, "Hey, I'm a programmer. I can help make that happen." And for the last 2 weeks, Jack Fox and I have been working on Schlyric.com. It's spelled just like it sounds, SHLYRIC, Schlyric, as in there's no sound, lyric.
Yeah. And don't be like me and
only because lyrical was unavailable. Lyrical would have been perfect, but
yeah.
Lyrical was not available.
And don't put an S on it. It's a bunch of Indian music.
Indian stuff. Yeah, I know. And I wish I would have seen that. But anyway, so this one you go to the thing. It tells you. It gives you a hint now. It didn't before, and we're like, oh, this is almost too hard. But it gives you the year, and then it gives you 6 lyrics, and after each one you can guess. And if you want, you can share your results. And I will say, even knowing lyrics as much as I do, it's a difficult one. We went and picked only the top 100 Billboard songs from every year from 1965. We said, all right, let's start in, well into Beatles time. 1965 to 2015, and said, all right, the top 100 Billboard songs for each of those years, and plopped them in there. So
it's kind of like the Framed one. They can't do anything too indie or no one's going to know it.
Right. I mean, yeah, exactly. Who knows the lyrics to, I can't come up with a really obscure song because everything I'm thinking of is a very famous song.
Yeah. I mean, just take some random dude on, SoundCloud. You're not going to include his music because nobody's heard it yet.
Exactly.
So
good luck to him. We had to figure out some way to kind of isolate it. Heart of Glass by Blondie was a couple days ago. Bad Day by Daniel Powder. You had a bad day.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So I've done three guesses so far, and I'm nowhere near getting it.
Yeah, this is a tough one today.
Yeah, the year is 1994. And now a question about the rules. So the lyrics.
And it'll autofill your it'll autofill with only available songs, right? So if you start typing, it'll only pull from this list of whatever.
Right. That's like Framed, the way Framed does it. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is
exactly.
good. Yeah. So the lyrics that it's giving me, they don't run together necessarily. They could be pulled from anywhere in the song.
Nope. They're absolutely consecutive lyrics. So it's, last night I saw you standing. I started pretending. I don't know how the song goes.
Masturbating. Let's see. Started pretending I knew you. I still don't know this.
Yeah.
You knew me too. I have no idea. I can't. So I'm not gonna spoil it even if I did. But I'm gonna go ahead and just admit that I don't know it. Oh.
Yeah, and then you'll say, "Oh, okay, I've heard of that, but that's a song I didn't recognize or I don't know." So it's it's like Hurdle or Hurdle.
Sure.
We should all agree on how to pronounce that. By the way, Heardle. Do you pronounce it Hurdle like Wordle? The problem with that is that somebody hearing that says, "Oh, HURDLE.com. That's not something."
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you say Hurdle, people like, "Oh, HEAR," but then it doesn't rhyme with Wordle. So let's all agree on how we pronounce HER.
Yeah.
HEARDLE.
As a people, can we come together on one thing and spell hurdle correctly?
Right, exactly. Anyway.
I don't know why they all feel like they have to. Like I like yours because it's not doing this, but how everything needs to rhyme with Wordle. It's like, come on, guys. You don't have to do that. Like that's why I like Framed. Framed is just freaking Framed.
Framed is great. What a great name. And I tried to come up with something that would work lyric-wise that wasn't already taken, and it was really tough. And I said, I want something short, like Schlyric.
Yeah, Schlyric. Like Steven Schlyric. Yeah, comes on Mondays.
Stephen H. Lyric.
There you go. Fun stuff. Oh, you got Captain Kip. Yeah. You got one guess today on Framed? I did not.
One guess. It took me until
it took me
to the third frame.
Yeah, I think it took me 3. I thought it was the pianist. That
was my second guess. Second guess was pianist. First guess was Amadeus.
Oh, gotcha.
Which didn't even come up as a autocomplete. Oh, I'm sorry, people, if you haven't done.
Oh, it's fine. We won't give them the answer. But just so you know, those two are not correct. It's not the pianist, and it's not that other one. Anyway, that's cool. Very cool. Check it out. Schlyric.com, everybody.
Schlyric.com.
Yeah.
Get it before the New York Times buys it, and we make a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to zero in on the one new one called Schlyric and avoid all these others. That would be great. That'd be amazing if they did.
Oh, it'd be great. The one I'd love it if songfacts.com or allmusic.com, one of those guys should buy it, right? Because it would be
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, somebody sent me. I don't know who does. There's one called Wordle Peaks. It's not a very easy site to remember. It's vegeta897.github.io. So it doesn't just roll off the tongue. But it's Wordle. But instead of telling you, oh, you've got this letter right, but in the wrong place, each letter is treated differently, and it does highs and lows. So here, I'll put a link to it in the show notes here.
All right.
Or not in the show notes, in the, there we go. Yeah, AV Tech John just posted it.
That's because he's so damn fast.
He is so damn fast. So the way it works is you put your 5-letter word in, and then it tells you, okay, this S is too low. Go higher than, it's higher in the alphabet or lower in the alphabet than an S.
Right. You have to hit enter.
This I is correct, and so it tells you a green one is correct.
Oh, I got that. So I got an S correct my first try.
Okay.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah. But it doesn't, it's not telling you.
Higher and lower.
Yeah. That's the
really,
weirdest part of this is that it's higher and lower.
Making my brain fart. It's more like, it's like Wordle with some direction,
Yeah.
Like literally
exactly.
up or down. What if
Right.
that guy knew he was going to start such a weird trend, Like
I know, right?
Such
Like,
an
and how
odd
it
thing.
became everything. Like, this is Flappy Bird business.
Oh yeah, maybe even
It's
more
like
so. 'Cause
how
it's like,
one guy came up with Flappy Bird, and then everything else, Crossy Road, Zippy Monkey, whatever, right? Like,
I want to play Zippy Monkey. Is Zippy Monkey available? Because I'm playing it right now.
you want to come up with? Is that the next thing? Do we need to get Jack Fox on the
Yeah,
phone and
Jack-
start working on Zippy Monkey?
Jack, let us know. I would love to do. Jack, send me a message. I have an idea, just a slight tweak on an idea that Frame does, but I have my own take on it. Send me an
It's
email.
all porn.
Yeah, let's make Jack
It's
Fox.
all frames from pornos.
It's porn. Yeah, it's just a porn. There probably exists. This exists, right? It's like find the
no,
porn.
No, definitely not. That I would say is very unlikely that they would make a version of Framed that uses porn films because nobody's going to recognize those from 11 frames, let alone 6.
I mean, if there's Loodle, somebody might. Like I don't know. Let's see.
I mean, maybe if it only used those XXX porn parodies, like it's the Brady Bunch XXX porn parody is like, oh, okay, yeah, that's clearly supposed to be Jan and Marcia.
Yeah. By the way, don't type framed for porn because it gives you a bunch of results that say framed for child porn. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Oh, good. Now you're.
Yeah,
now you're
you don't want that.
the
I'm on a
watch
list. I'm
Well
on a
done.
list. Oh no. All right. So and the truth is, if that exists out there, I'm sure Captain Kipper or somebody will find it.
AV Tech John will have a look.
Yeah,
for
AV
us
Tech
in just
John
a
finds
moment.
everything.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
an AV Tech. That's what he does. Audio, visual, tech. All right. Well, that's all she wrote for this morning. Do bookmark that though, everybody. Schrillick. Or sorry, Schlerick. I keep wanting to say Shrillick for some
I
reason.
know. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't put the R after the H. It's
Nope.
Schlerick.
You'll just find a guy with greasy black hair ready to drop the beat and make the
That's
bass.
And even if you suck at it, do it and then share it on Twitter so that the world discovers it and says, God, this game is too effing hard. I'm never going to play it again. You guys suck.
Yeah.
That's what people.
Or they'll say, boy, this is great. The New York Post should get in some of this business.
Oh, the Post.
Get
Yes.
the Post in there so they can compete with their big mother paper out there in the East Coast.
Right.
All right, let's get to today's fantastic and earth-shattering news stories. And to delay my time there for a second. It's time for the news, and it is brought to you by...
Brought to you by America's Next Top Podcaster. This morning, we posted the 3 contestant submissions for week 2. The challenge was to create a scripted nonfiction history podcast, and our 3 teams did. We learned about brewing. We learned about 10-cent beer night at baseball. Or I guess it wasn't. Yeah, it was 10-cent beer night and baseball. And then we learned about animals on trial. And 3 incredible shows. Who is going to take the prize this week? Find out by listening to America's Next Top Podcaster at americasnexttoppodcaster.com.
.com. All right. Check this out. This story here. Taco Bell. Something we've been talking about all the time.
Yes.
Not just Taco Bell, but always our desire for old food items that they took off their menu and don't do anymore. They are officially...
All hail the Doja Cat.
They are officially bringing back the Mexican pizza. And we all have up-and-coming, well, she's sort of already here, megastar, pop star, Doja Cat for making a big deal about this. Because it worked, I guess. Anyway, those who've
I don't know how was she involved. I know that she got to reveal the news at a concert a couple nights ago, but I have no idea, even in reading articles, how she can hold the claim that it's because of her that Mexican pizza's back.
Well, it says here, the Kiss No More rapper became a mouthpiece for the beloved menu item in 2021. She implored Taco Bell multiple times to put Mexican pizza back on the menu. Charmingly pulled rank in an attempt to encourage them to do so. She worked alongside the chain to create its tunes for its commercials and promotions in the past, so she's already kind of been working with them. So her TikTok account, which I see occasionally on my For You page, has been full of her saying, bring back the damn thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, at
All
what
right,
point
thanks.
was she actually working with them on that? And who knows? Like,
Yeah. All right, Doja Cat, why didn't you just say so?
yeah. She probably went, bring it back a pizza for the pizza. That's how she sings. That's her whole thing.
Now, who do we get to champion the Enchilito? Who is our megastar that we enlist?
Does it have to be another rapper? Or can we do something else?
Doesn't have to be another rapper. I'm thinking we get Rick Astley and we play off the "Never Gonna Give You Up" thing
It's
for
pretty
the
good.
Enchilito
Yeah,
and
not
say,
bad.
yeah.
Let's do that. Let's get I'm sure he's got nothing else going on. Get it on there. Get it going.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll talk about.
Or
Yeah.
we get Camilla Cabello
I don't know who that is.
and she sings it Enchilito to the tune of Despacito.
Oh, that's who that is?
I think so.
I
I'm
like
not
it when
sure.
you
No,
call
Luis
me-
Fonsi was Despacito.
You call me
but-
Desperito, and I got do-do-dee-dee-do. Is that the song I'm thinking of?
Yeah, no, that's
I like it when you call me Senorita. Is that the one? No.
right. No, Havana was Camilla Cabello. There, that doesn't rhyme with Enchilito. So it's got to be Despacito. Enchilito.
I'm gonna eat-o all the Desperitos. Yep. That's a terrible song. I hate it.
Yes, it is.
I really don't like that song very much.
Or we get the Eagles.
Could be the Eagles.
Enchilito.
I like it.
Why don't you bring it back
me.
to us? 3 olives on the top,
Yeah.
smothered in sauce.
Was that a rule? Was that a rule about the olives? I didn't know that.
Yeah, 3
No.
olives on top.
Why is that? Why just the 3? What's their deal?
It's just like, why is there a second stupid piece of bread in the middle of a Big Mac? Like, it's not like it does anything.
That's a really good point. Just adds another 150 calories or whatever.
It just adds another, you could make the top and bottom bun a little bit thicker and get rid of the middle piece of bread.
Yeah.
But,
Cut out the middleman, I always say.
it's just like a little visual trademark of the Enchilito. When they brought it back, they only put 1 olive on it, and that's kind of why it failed.
Oh, dumbasses.
Yeah,
You'd think
that's
they'd
why.
know. Yeah. Well, they did an official press release, and they removed the menu item in 2020, which I thought it was out of the menu for a decade or more. So that surprised me. I didn't know that. I didn't know in 2020 I could get a pizza at freaking Taco Bell.
No, I do remember this, and I remember the last week or so of the availability for the Mexican pizza, and I think I went during the last week it was available and got one.
Well, I kind of want. You know what? I don't know that I've ever had one. We talk about it all the time, but I don't
Really?
think I've ever done it. Yeah. So now I will. 100% will now. In fact,
I don't know what makes it so dang good. There's a sauce that they put on it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's their typical red bean
it's not
burrito
just
sauce.
little.
There's
It's not their little packets. Is it? They just squeeze
It's not
out a
little
ton of those?
packets.
Okay. Damn.
It's something slightly different, and I don't know. I don't know what it is about the Mexican pizza that makes it so good. But
Well, they are not doing it until 5/19, which is a bummer because I have that amazing Taco Bell between me and St. George, and I would love to get it on my way, but
that would have been a great way to pick it up. Yeah.
it's not going to happen. She wrote on her 2 platforms of note, TikTok and Twitter, on Monday with a video of her announcing the news to her Coachella audience. Quote, "I brought back the Mexican pizza, by the way."
Which out of context is a really funny thing to say in concert.
Yeah. But they all cheered like mad. They were like stoked, like, "Wah!" I mean, they're all on, how many edibles by then. Who knows what they're doing, but
Will this be like the Szechuan sauce? Remember how
oh yeah.
McDonald's had their Szechuan sauce for a limited time for their nuggets or something, and then disappeared, and then there was all the hubbub when Rick and Morty had a whole episode about that, and then they brought it back and was like, this is all right.
Yeah, it's not as good as we all think it is. 90s kids were wrong. Yeah, the Szechuan sauce came about because, if I remember correctly, it was a co-promotion thing with Mulan back in the 90s, the Mulan animated
Right,
movie.
that's right. That's what initially made it come back. Yeah.
Let's get down to business. All right. Anyway, so there's that. Looking forward to it. 5/19. Check it out.
5/19. So May already shaping up with Doctor Strange Mexican pizza.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Bring it on, May.
I was trying to find I thought I had ingredients, but I see AB Tech John's done it. 2 crisp corn tortilla shells filled with seasoned ground beef, hearty beans, and then topped with pizza sauce, a blend of 3 real cheeses. Oh, thank goodness it's real cheeses. Cheddar, pepper jack, and mozzarella, melted to perfection. Yeah, my perfection.
I could have sworn that they were flour tortillas.
It says corn.
I know, yeah. I'm looking at that too. Like I said, I could have sworn it was... I wonder if they changed that, because when I was working Taco Bell, we were using flour. I had to do all the flour tortilla. I was the fryer, so like I had to fry the flour tortillas flat like that.
I don't remember ever seeing a corn tortilla that large. You know?
Oh, really? No, it was like it's basically tostada size. I mean, the whole thing is really like.
Oh, it's only that
like
big?
That big, yeah.
Oh,
it's
okay.
tiny.
It's not like I was thinking it'd be bigger, like a 10-inch thing or something.
Yeah,
like
I guess maybe not.
Like a big flour tortilla, but.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, according to an affair from the heart, Mexican pizza from Taco Bell takes a couple of flour tortillas to act as the crust. So I wonder if they changed it, because that looks like AV Tech John. You copied and pasted it from somewhere else, right?
Yeah, it must have. I assume, unless you found it on Twitch, I would assume so. Yeah, I don't know, man. Oh, it's from the Taco Bell wiki.
Yeah,
there's a wiki.
There's a Taco Bell wiki.
I mean, of course there is, but I'm always surprised when I find out certain things have wikis. You know, some fan base.
It was definitely flour tortillas back in the day, and I could have sworn even when I had it in 2020, it was still flour tortillas. So maybe, I don't know.
No sale then. Don't care if it's
no sale.
I don't like using corn.
I like corn tortillas.
Do you?
As well.
Oh,
I prefer flour tortillas, but I like corn.
I mean, I'll eat whatever they hand me. You know,
yeah.
And if there are 5 of them, I'll eat them in a parking lot. It's fine. Let's see here. Here's a story. This is interesting. Quebec, or Quebec, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
The Frenchies up there in the Great White North. You know, the ones. The Quebec Ministry of Health has apologized for tweeting a link to a porn video instead of a COVID page.
Oops.
Yeah. Oops. Is Ted Cruz running your social media up there? What's going on? Quebec's Ministry of Health and Social Services apologized after accidentally tweeted out a link to Pornhub and a video there instead of a government site with brand new COVID-19 data. The Canadian agency, which has more than 103,000 Twitter followers, I would have thought it would be more than that for some reason.
Yeah, no kidding.
All the government ones are usually pretty big. That one's not that big.
Yeah, exactly. Just because people they followed it once to get some update about something, and then they forgot to unfollow it when they lost interest.
Yeah. Well, speaking of feet earlier, it's the video they sent out is a foot fetish porn video. To whatever extent that it means, yeah.
I was going to make the joke that, well, at least it was Stepmom explains COVID to to Horny Step-Son.
No, just some nasty dude telling it to his feet. That's it. That's all you get. It was more than a half an hour passed before the officials corrected the error, so it took them a minute. The error, really? Like, you can't just say it's an error.
Well, it's an error. I mean,
it is, but somebody copied a link to a porn foot video and then pasted it. That's more than an error. That's somebody copying and pasting porn at work is what that is. Even if you in error put it in the tweet thing you weren't supposed to. I don't know. Or somebody's playing a big fat joke. Could be that.
It could be. It could be. Yeah. Just was. I mean. The way these things happen, right? He's like, oh, I got to copy this video to watch later. And then it's like, oh, I got to make a new Twitter post about COVID update. Okay. And he forgets to hit the copy button on the press release and paste it into the Twitter post.
Think he gets fired for this? Probably.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that might be happening. Didn't happen to Ted Cruz.
Or move to a different department than social media, one that does not interact with the public.
Yeah. Maybe don't put him in the mailroom, or I don't know where he should go.
Right.
They even have mail rooms.
Tech John found officially from Taco Bell, their press release says flour shells.
Okay. So it is flour. This article's wrong. Whoa.
I don't know why that had to be the Pac-Man theme, but it was.
I don't either. All right. Well, anyway, Quebec, good luck to you. I hope you can recover after your problems. I hate when they... Oh, never mind. I'm not going to read that because then I'm doing it. I'll say this as a general rule: I hate when news articles use random people's tweets as news information.
Exactly. Yeah,
I don't like that. Stop doing that. I mean, I've even been featured a couple of times, and I still don't like it. Like
it's not news. Yeah.
It's not news. I ended up in like a Forbes article once where it says Twitter person Scott Johnson says, and I'm like, no, don't lump me in this. Twitter is this ephemeral, just poop it out in the air and let people eat it. It's not a thing where you have to put it in an article. Hate that.
Right.
Anyway, here's a story about a Florida man.
Florida man.
Where is he here? Here he is. He likes the Spider-Man a lot. Big fan of Spider-Man.
Sure.
He's seen Spider-Man No Way Home 292 times. In the theater, by the way.
Yeah. Yes, this isn't like just watching it at home. This is he went to the theater this many times.
Yeah, he didn't get some hacked copy on someone's Plex server.
Watched it back to back a lot of times. Yeah.
Sets world record as a result. He's even submitted it to the people over there at the Guinness deal. Some Marvel Cinematic Universe fans take their movie viewing seriously, but none as seriously as this Florida man. They say man. He looks like he's 15. He's like 27. He saw it in theaters a record-breaking 292 times. Ramiro Alanis is his name. Isn't that ironic? Broke the Guinness World Record for most cinema productions attended of the same film, which is the category, after seeing Spider-Man for 720 hours, 30 days worth, between the 16th of December and March 15th, 2022, last month. In order to qualify for the record, you had to watch the movie in theaters and independently of any other activity, so just movie in the theater. Right. This meant you could not check his phone, no sleeping, no bathroom breaks, nothing.
Right, exactly. Bathroom breaks between the film, between showings, but if he had to leave the theater to pee, that one did not count.
Do you think he had an inside? They don't mention this at all, but did he have someone on the inside, or did he pay the $15 or whatever?
He paid $3,500 to for this record.
Is that worth it?
No.
I mean, if you got 35 grand or $3,500 just laying around, sure, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think this is insane. Also, I'd be terribly bored. And also, he's going to be like Eli, Book of Eli. He's going to walk through the wilderness and then lay on a couch with a shaved head and repeat the movie word for word.
Mary Jane says, "No, let's get out of here." No, Spider-Man says.
Seriously, though, if you watch anything that much in that short of amount of time, it's part of you now. Yeah. You'll never shake it. And I like that movie. I didn't like it that much. I don't like any movie that much. I don't even like, you know what? I couldn't do Fury Road that much in 2 months.
No. There's no movie that I could think of that I would be fine watching 292 times.
Yeah.
I mean, like that, and they equate that out to 30 days, like basically 30 days of nonstop viewing if he were to watch it. There we go. Although he didn't keep track of the exact amount he spent on movie tickets over the course of the attempt, Ramiro estimates the total to be about $3,400.
Okay. And he's in Florida. So he's not paying like East Coast prices, because that's closer to like $4,500, almost $5,000.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how much tickets are in Florida.
I mean, you couldn't do this on your thing, could you? Because you can only do 3, or it has to be new
I could
movies?
do 3 a week. Yeah, the maximum I could do is 3 a week, so I'd only be able to see it like at most 12 times a month.
Yeah, well, for free. You could always pay for the others, I guess. But
I could, and for free. But
well, yeah, kind of like how Netflix has a movie on it, and we call it free. Sort of like
exactly. Oh, this is what's on free streaming. Free if you pay for it.
Yeah, free if you pay for it. That's a great distinction. Free if you pay for it.
Free if you pay for it.
Anyway, maybe he was laundering some Dogecoin, says Pops and Recline. Possible.
Oh, right.
Possible.
So you only got those the first showing. You only got Dogecoins or whatever, crypto, or no, it was an NFT that,
Oh, that's like right. That was the Spider-Man NFT.
That was the Spider-Man thing, yeah. And I don't think we even ever claimed Tina's NFT. So there's an unclaimed NFT sitting out there floating around in space. What's going to happen to that?
That's a UC NFT.
Oh,
an
unclaimed
NFT.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, this funny thing happened on Twitter yesterday. Speaking of NFTs.
Sure.
There was a survey sent out externally by Blizzard Entertainment. You may be familiar with the embattled studio.
I'm familiar with those guys.
Blizzard,
yep.
yeah.
Oh, in 5 minutes they're making their new announcement.
Yeah, they're doing their thing here. They put out this survey asking people about a range of things, including NFTs, microtransactions, just kind of generalized stuff, which isn't that unusual. But people flipped out. And so Mike Ybarra, the current head of Blizzard, got on Twitter and said, nobody's doing NFTs. That was it. That was his whole tweet. Nobody's doing them, he says.
Excellent. I love it.
Yeah. I hope they don't. They don't need any more controversy now anyway.
Oh God, no, definitely not.
Yeah, you want to add to your controversy. Oh, someone just snuck in. Carter, what's up? What is that? Did you go to Taco Bell? Is that a pizza?
Oh no, it's not till May. No pizza.
Kim got me a what are these called?
Crunch Wrap Supreme.
Yeah. Nice. I can't eat this till after the show though, so it'll be nice and cold right here. Oh, I'll put on the heater.
Is it a breakfast Crunch Wrap? Because it's not even 10 o'clock yet.
I know. I don't even eat till 11, so I don't know what she's thinking. But I'll take it. Yeah. Tell her thank you for her offer of kindness. All right.
Damn it! Now I want Taco Bell for lunch.
Well, that'll happen when we talk about it and show it on the air. So
yeah, it's exactly what happens every damn time. Oh, let's do that thing where you reach through. Let's see. You're this way, right?
Yeah, I'm this way.
Can I reach through and grab that?
Yeah, go the other direction. Do the other direction.
Oh, this way. Sorry.
Yeah, so we go.
Well, wait. How is that possible? Because I'm looking at you.
No, it's on right, because my thing flips on. Discord flips my video, so it's offset. Yeah, chat room will probably capture it, and now we'll have a new clip to play with.
There we go.
Let's see. We got time for maybe this one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, look at this. Here's something you don't want your kid to do. Kindergartner. It doesn't sound right. Kindergartner.
The more you say it, the more weirder it sounds. Yeah. Kindergartner.
Brought tequila to school and shared it with classmates. This is in Michigan. Parents are pissed because their kindergarten.
Attention.
Do they have detention at that age? I don't know. Maybe.
No, I don't know if they do in kindergarten. Yeah, I don't think so.
I have no idea. Anyway, for snack time, this kid brought a bottle of tequila from home from this kid in Livione. How do you say that?
Livonia. Livione.
Michigan.
From Iran, I'm Silvia Leone.
Michigan shared a bottle of Jose Cuervo mix with 10% alcohol content to her classmates before the teacher stopped it.
Oh, so it's like one of those margarita mix. I mean, it's got tequila in it, but it's one of those margarita mix bottles as opposed to like taking a bottle of Patron. Yeah.
So it was a premix. Yeah, you're right. It's a premix bottle, they say. 4 classmates had some, including the daughter. I asked her, is my daughter okay? And she said, she's right here, and she looks okay. And then I said, okay, well, how much did she drink? School would not give her a definite answer because they didn't know. Daughter takes medicine. And first up, no kid should be drinking. And just the shot itself, it burns, she said. This mom's a little weird.
No kidding.
The way she talks. There's a lot of likes and ums and stuff they include in the quotes. It's weird.
Yeah.
Smith picked up her daughter from school early that day. Principals sent out a letter addressing the issue, said disciplinary measures will be taken in accordance with the student's code of conduct. The kid will be back on Monday. Smith, the mother, says, it's so heartbreaking. I feel like her first year of kindergarten was already cut short because of COVID, and situations like this are making it worse.
Well, then lock up your booze.
Lock up your booze!
Yeah. Oh, what a sad thing that has happened to us.
Yeah, happened.
Yes.
It happened to us with no effort of our own.
Exactly, yes.
Lame.
Jeez Louise.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we return, some time with Bill, I think. I haven't heard from him, but I think he's back.
Okay. And, I forgot to bring down my my super soldier serum. Darn it.
Darn it. There's the darn it. Who else? Oh, Bobby after that. So watch for that. But before that, music, though. We got to do music. So do you have music?
Yeah. How about a band called Colatura? Colatura. They have a brand new debut album coming out this Friday called And Then I'll Be Happy. That's the title of their album. Great title.
Love it.
This is a New York trio and from Brooklyn. This song is great because the chorus asks, are you content or are you content? Oh, wow. How thoughtful and metaphysical and philosophical. Here is the band Colatura from their brand new album. Here it is. Are You Content?
I'm single, and I'm going to take myself to Subway. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take myself to Subway, because I'm single.
How many genders are there?
I don't know. I just got here.
The morning stream. I'm the captain now.
All right, we're back, everybody. That guy's awesome. I love him.
I just like the answer. I don't know. I just got
just got here.
To any question somebody asks you.
He's at some. It was like some kind of. There's a video I saw where they were at like some kind of event. A bunch of people are around. I assume it was some kind of rally or something.
Yeah.
And then the guy asks how many genders, and this dude looks nonplussed. He just goes, I don't know. I just got here. As if he's going to have the answer to it in a while
exactly.
now that he's there.
Let me get settled in, and then I'll be able to answer. They'll,
Oh, that's so stupid. I love it, though. All right. Hats off to that dude. Hey, Brian, tell me again who that song was so we can give him credit.
That song was the band Colatura with their brand new song, Are You Content, from their upcoming album, And Then I'll Be Happy, which comes out Friday.
We're all both content. We're both content and content at the same time.
That's true, yes. You and I are both content and content.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm often content. I won't say I'm always
sometimes
content.
I'm contentious.
Yeah. Contentious, content, contentious. That's not a word. Hey.
It should be.
Hey, everybody. Yeah. I know what's next.
Your bat cave's open there, Bill.
Perfectly rested, underwear full of sand, Bill Doran joins us from Punish Props. He's been in Hawaii for a long time and really had a good time from all the pictures I saw. Bill, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Good. I have one more pun to add to the pile.
Yeah.
Oh, please
do. I couldn't get a room at Dragon Con, so I put up a tent in the middle of the show floor. I call it my content.
Fun.
That's really good. That's really good. I'm embarrassed we didn't think of it, but that's why you're here, damn it, to finish things off, to give us closure. I appreciate it. How was your trip? It seemed like you had a ball.
It was amazing. I'm going to talk about it for the next 10 minutes.
Totally fine. This is our segment today, getting rest so that your creative mind can be freed and come home and do new work. Yeah.
But also, I brought all my camera gear, and I took a lot of photos of wild animals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you're gonna take photos of wild animals, Hawaii is a pretty great place for it. So we spent a week there on the Big Island of Hawaii, and actually, I started my digital photography journey in Hawaii back in 2008. I went there for a trip, and I was into film photography, but I had my camera had been stolen. My camera and my lenses for film were all gone. And I wasn't in photography for a couple of years until I went to Hawaii, and then I was like, I need a camera, so I bought my first DSLR while I was on the trip. And I've taken like hundreds of thousands of photos since then.
Nice. Wait, so you got the camera there? You didn't take one with you? You bought it and...
I bought one, well, in 2008.
Bought it back then. I'm in my head, I'm like, wait, he bought this now? Holy crap.
No.
Okay, all right.
So it's just, Hawaii is a special place because that's where I kind of started my photography journey.
Yeah.
Well, I went back with all my newer camera gear with the goal of shooting photos of animals. It's mostly what I wanted. I got some other stuff, but mostly I wanted to shoot photos of animals. I bought a GoPro for this trip, mostly because they're waterproof and I wanted to get video while I was snorkeling. But I also brought my big camera. I have a Sony A7R III. I have a macro lens I like for shooting small animals up close. And then I have a telephoto lens for shooting animals that are far away. I have a 200 to 600. If you're going to try and shoot wildlife, animals that aren't at a zoo and forced to be near you, you do need a pretty long lens. 200 would probably be the minimum, but having a 600 millimeter lens is really good, cool.
Do you end up with a lot of? Because I know you've talked about birding before, and stuff. Are there a lot of birds that you can see?
There were so many birds in Hawaii. Yeah. So what the cool thing about birds is they're everywhere. So I took a lot of photos of birds from the house we rented. In the morning, I would go out. There was a park kind of across the street where they would all hang out, and I would just wander over there, take a few photos of whatever birds happen to be around, and then that was it. It was really easy. But if you have a specific bird you want to get, that's when you have to be a little more on the ball, a little more patient. But fortunately,
sorry, I was going to say, if you were in Europe and you said I'm taking photos of birds today, they'd think you were a pervert and tell you to stop.
Probably, yeah.
Because that's a lady over there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
but until I got more specific, it said no, it's focused on the cattle egret.
Oh, I see. Yeah, then you'd be fine. They would take you out of Europe jail, and you'd be fine.
There we go.
Nice. So did you see anything that was like super rare, or like, oh man, I can't believe I just saw the flying gorilla with 2 heads, or whatever?
No, and I bet I bet there are a few things rare, like that. I really just went. We were traveling with friends, so I didn't want to be too much of a pain in the butt. So I just took photos of whatever was around. I didn't go specifically seeking things, except for sea turtles. So I'll get to that in a minute. The birds were awesome. There were tons of different kinds of doves, several different kinds of cardinals. There was that cattle egret I told you about. And they were plentiful. It was really easy and fun to just shoot photos of lots and lots of birds. There were also a lot of mongooses. Monkeys?
Mongooses.
Mongooses.
There are lots of them. I didn't realize that. They were brought to take care of a rat problem. They did not solve the rat problem, and now there's a mongoose problem. So there are tons of mongoose. They're really cute. They're really adorable. I got a few shots of them. In fact, I just posted a bunch of my photos over on Twitter if you wanted to take a peek.
I am going to take a peek. This sounds exciting. Chinbeard on Twitter, by the way, if you're listening at home.
That's right. And then one of my very favorite things were the sea turtles. I knew going into Hawaii that I wanted to find sea turtles. I wanted to take photos of them. And I researched a couple of bays that are famous for having sea turtles hanging out. And we ended up at a place called Kiholo Bay. And you had to park and then walk a mile and a half to get to the bay. But it was a really lovely walk. When we got there were a dozen of these sea turtles hanging out, eating algae and stuff, and they were super chill, and you could get pretty close to them and take all sorts of photos, and it was really, really cool.
So
the sea turtles were probably my favorite animals to take photos.
Does it weird you out? Sure. I don't know why this has always weirded me out, but it always weirds me out that these animals, in most cases, not all cases, sometimes you'll see a baby or something, but they've been on this planet longer than you in a lot of cases.
Yeah, the sea turtles get pretty old.
Crazy. Oh, yeah. Just always trips me out to think of it that way.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the sea turtle's is that a A7R3? I remember when photography was new.
When they watch old turtle movies, though, they say, everybody in this movie is probably still alive.
Yeah. Complain about the Ninja Turtles and say things like, we wouldn't listen to her.
Totally missed my joke.
No, I liked it. It was a good joke. It was a nice joke. I heard it. I was just moving on to the next one, joke to
gotcha,
joke.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, it's a radio show.
Because it's something you always say.
Yeah,
all the people in this movie are dead.
No, I got it. It's good.
All right, move on.
I got it. So, hey, Bill, did you? Yeah. You don't get to keep any of these, though, right? You just pictures and go home.
No,
yeah.
The GoPro now. If you're on my Twitter there, I saw there are a couple of videos I posted. One of them was we were swimming snorkeling in a place called Two Step, and a bunch of dolphins showed up. And I had my GoPro, so I got footage of dolphins swimming around us, which was super magical. But the most amazing part of the whole trip was manta rays. We got to go see manta rays. We went snorkeling with them at night, and it was extraordinary.
Oh, wow.
And I did post a video up on Twitter of that. Basically, you go out in a boat. It's like a 5-minute trip from the shore out to this area where the manta rays eat at night. And you get out of the boat, and they have these rafts that everyone clings to. And it's this floating raft with lights on it. The lights point down. And you just float there with your snorkel, holding onto the raft, looking down, and manta rays show up. And they just do backflips, and they eat plankton, and they're amazing and enormous. You can see right into their giant mouths.
Oh, wow.
It was absolutely bananas. And again, I had my GoPro there because it's waterproof to film the whole thing. And I was pretty impressed with the way it pulled off filming at night underwater.
Yeah, I guess
really
that
cool.
blue light is, I assume, artificial, but the
light on the raft was blue.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it was blue, but that's what they used, and the manta rays seem to like it.
those things are freaky looking in the face in the front. They scare me a little bit.
They came inches from my face. Like one of their giant eyeballs was like 5 inches from my face. It was
wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I looks like a blast. It looks like you guys had the time of your lives there.
Yeah. It was so cool.
Yeah.
And then finally, I did lots of animal photography. I love my animal photography, but natural phenomena is way up there, and Hawaii has lava. So we hiked through the Volcano National Park to the Halemaumau crater right next to Kilauea. It is an active crater with lava spewing out of it right now, and we were able to go check that out. We hiked there at dusk, which is good. You want it to be a little darker so you see the glow. And you want to bring a flashlight so you can get back when in the dark. And if you're going to shoot photos, bring a tripod. I did not. I would recommend bringing a tripod.
So did you do any lava video? I can't find it.
I did. I may have not posted that yet.
Oh, you should put some lava. Dude, you got lava video. You got to put that on the internet.
For sure.
Yeah, I will. I'm still going through it all, but yeah, it was bananas. You could hear the lava. It made the entire night sky glow. It was just so amazing.
That's cool, man. Very cool. Well, I'm jealous.
This looks like a blast.
Yeah, and I'm sure the weather was perfect, like every minute.
It was really good. Yeah, the weather was really amazing.
Yeah.
Recommend it if anyone wants a fun place to go for a week, and especially if you want to even just see. You don't have to take photos; just go see all these animals.
Yeah.
Those turtles were just chilling there. They were so chill. It was amazing.
I would like to be one of those turtles. If I was in nature, turtles would be great because they mostly get to just chill. They don't have a ton of predators in certain areas, and they live for like 200 years.
Yeah,
you know?
they were really just gnawing on rocks that had algae on them. Like that was their whole day, and they seemed pretty into it.
Also, when they have sex, it's weird. Have you seen them ever mate? You ever seen a turtle mate?
I've heard that video. That
that weird thing is one of the strangest things in nature. So I'm pro turtle. Turtles are great. Nothing wrong with turtles.
Cool.
Well, Bill,
I'm with Shredder.
Yeah, always. Even though this is mostly today's fun travelogue, you probably still have a little bonus link for us. Do you have a little something?
I do, yeah. Another restoration video. This is My Mechanics. He restored a electric doorbell from the early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say early 1900s because now people are starting to refer to the time I was born as the 1900s, and that doesn't make me feel good at all.
Oh, no, I don't like it at all. Oh, look at this thing. This is old.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Doorbell.
See, that's old, not me.
Yeah.
Doorbell with an actual bell.
So this is electric? What?
Mm-hmm. Basically an electromagnet that would make the ringer oscillate and ring the bell. Yeah.
That's cool, wow. Dude. Really cool. Oh, look at that. And it would just go ding, 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 ding. Okay, this is rad. I'll have to watch this whole thing. So I assume he's cleaning this out. This is funny because I played a whole bunch of this power wash simulator game.
Ooh, yeah.
Over the last few days. And everything in that game reminds me of stuff like this. Just dirty, grimy, whatever. I had to clean a big cottage that was basically the shape of a shoe out in the forest. And hadn't been cleaned in like what felt like 50 years, and taking a power washer to that stuff is so satisfying. I probably would like stuff like this. Take something old and make it new again,
Yeah. When's someone going to make a restoration simulator?
Right? Oh, well, they have one actually. Is it called Toy? I think it might be called Toy Restoration Simulator. So they focus on old toys, but it's like, here's an old train set from 60 years ago. Yeah. I have that game. It's great. You'd like it. Because it's basically this. It's just this gamified where you take the little parts apart and unscrew it and clean a little bit.
Toy Tinker Simulator.
That's it.
Recent reviews, mostly negative.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
Oh, I actually liked it. I don't know what people are weird. I think that game's okay. They got
a little screwdriver. He's taking it rusty parts apart. Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, some find chorecore games a little tedious, but I think they're fascinating. And, why not? Why the hell not? Awesome. Go check that out. That's My Mechanics on YouTube is where you'll find that video,
really
folks
cool.
at home. Thank you, chat, for putting, no, I guess you put it in there, Bill. Bill, thanks for giving us that link is what I'm trying to say.
You got it.
Have a great week, and may all your turtles be old.
All right. Bye.
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 Hold on. There he goes. Well, that's cool. I want this bell when it's done. I don't want it all dirty, though. I want it finished.
I know, yeah, exactly. I think it's cooler looking dirty, but it's cool that he does this restoring thing with it as well.
Oh, he doesn't. It actually didn't work. He had to fix it.
Oh, I thought it was.
Well, it was at first, but his reassemble didn't work.
Oh, I see. Once he reassembled it, yeah. Because at the beginning he hooks up a little thing to it, and it's like he pushes the button, and that thing totally rings.
He's basically me. This is what would happen to me. I would get done. It would be beautiful and perfect, and then I would realize, oh, I've screwed up somewhere. I got to take it apart and find where I scred up, and that's exactly what happened.
I did that this weekend with. So I put in a new wall junction box because we had taken a mirror down, and this junction box had all the wires in it, and it was just floating around because when it was behind the mirror it didn't really matter. The cables came through, the plugs came through. We took the mirror down, we redid the bathroom, and we still had this floating junction box, so I had to cut a bigger opening to pull this thing out, take all the wires out, reconnect everything, put it back in, and but all along the way it's like, okay, those are all the wires are connected, nothing's touching, but turn that thing back on to make sure I didn't make a mistake, and have a light in there. Okay, light works. Turn it back off. This is the breaker, and then now push everything back in. Now let's make sure it works.
No, that's the right way. You did that the exact right way.
It's the right way to do it. Sadly, is just keep trying it every step of the way, so that you don't put everything back together and say, okay, not working. Where did I make a mistake?
What you got to do is how was I going to say that? If you're going, like in a PC build, same thing. You pull out your you got all your parts out. You're putting your motherboard in, all your stuff. Don't seal it up before you test it.
Right.
Or else you're screwed. That happened to me too many times. Chat room says the announcement was made. Let's see.
It's all Tortolin.
No, it can't be.
Yeah, I think that's the joke.
Let's see. Expansion reveal. Let's see. New class, the Evoker. New race, the Drakthir, which I think is Dragon Man-Dragon. Let's see here. 2 specializations, healer range DPS. Hero class starts at 58 with new starter zone. Wears mail. What's the name of the damn thing? Here, let me see what this is.
Let's see, that one's...
Oh, it's Ian. What's her name and what's his bucket? Oh, they're still in the live thing. I don't think they've given it a name yet.
No.
All right.
There's Dragonflight details leak ahead of reveal, but there we go. Dragonflight is the.
That's the name.
That's the name.
All right. So those rumors were true. The leaks were true. It is Dragonflight. All right. Well, I have to compile questions to send a hoo-ha for my interview later. I shouldn't call her hoo-ha. She's a very nice lady named something else. Not really. Her name is not hoo-ha.
Yeah, her name is not hoo-ha.
No, why would I do that to poor what's her name whose name is not hoo-ha? All right, let's get Bill in. Bill's in. He likes himself a little bit of the old not Bill, Bobby is what I meant to say.
Bobby, but what we need to do is you need to split it up so that we don't have 2 B's on the same day.
Yeah, what were we thinking when we did that? Oh, right. Look at this.
Science.
Hey, it's science time, you guys. You know what that means. Bobby Frankenberger, also back from a nice little trip away with the family.
A little Florida vacation, yeah.
Yeah, how'd it go?
Vacay.
How was the vacation, sir?
It was great. It was fun. It was celebrating my younger daughter's 6th birthday there. So.
Nice. This was Disney World that you went to.
Yes, Disney World, the better Disney.
Yeah. The better of the
bigger
two Disneys.
Disney, anyway.
Yeah, I guess
the more stuff Disney.
What's the total? We got Anaheim, you got Orlando, you got Tokyo. What else? France.
One in France.
You got Shanghai.
Oh, Shanghai! I forgot about Shanghai.
Is that it?
Euro
Disney, Shanghai Disney.
I feel like there are
Tokyo.
2 around China. Like, is there one in Shanghai and then?
Oh, Hong Kong.
Oh, yeah, Hong Kong has a small one, I think.
So Hong Kong and Shanghai, Tokyo, Anaheim,
AV Tech John
Florida.
says Disney's ruining all the
France.
parks. What does that mean? What are they doing?
Yeah, the new Bob Chupek is just nickel and diming everything. What used to be, like free fast pass, no more. Now you've got Genie Plus and all of these,
The Genie Plus thing we did, and it worked really well. We enjoyed it, but it is a nickel and diming kind of thing. Like you said, you do have, like, you pay for it per day.
And when you've got
then it doesn't
group
always.
Of you, it's 4 of you, right? So that's an extra $80 a day or whatever.
Yeah, it was a lot of money to add it on to every day, but it was incredibly useful.
Yes.
But the other nickel and diming part is that not everything is included in the Genie Plus. So the brand new ride where we were at Epcot was
was the Guardians of the Galaxy thing open yet, or
no? We don't have that yet here. So that's the main thing that we're missing, right? But it was the Ratatouille ride, which was amazing, but you couldn't get use the Genie Plus thing to get your Fast Pass, because I'm just gonna call it Fast Pass because it was a better name.
Yeah, for sure.
But you couldn't get your Fast Pass. You had to pay to get into that ride,
just for that ride,
as a Fast Pass. If you wanted your Fast Pass for that, you had to pay extra for that. And some of the rides are that way. The really popular ones
Rise of the
that
Resistance is that way. Yeah,
exactly.
It's used to be free, used to be great. Now, bummer.
I mean, you still paid for the Fast Pass Plus before, but it was way easier to understand before.
Well, you had free Fast Pass included with your ticket, at least in California.
Yeah, you're right. If you were a Disney resort guest,
even if you weren't at a resort, like Fast Pass. If I'm thinking the same thing, I mean, you could
there's
include it with your ticket.
So this has always been the problem, right? Because there was Fast Pass, and then there was Fast Pass Plus.
What was Fast Pass Plus? Okay,
that was the extra one you got.
That was commercial free.
Would that let you have two all at once?
I don't remember. Who knows?
I think so. Yeah,
that was commercial free, and you got all of the Golden Girls seasons all at once if you got the Plus. That's how it
was
works.
all confusing. I think that all of those Walt Disney parks, like, those extra fan websites that do all the like plan guides and stuff like that. I think those sites are in cahoots with Disney, and they're saying you got to keep it complicated. Right, so that people have a reason to come to our website.
And here we go. So Fast Pass Plus was only at Disney World. California still just had Fast Pass regular.
Well, then that's there you go.
I was unfamiliar with
They
that
needed
one.
you guys to feel better for having the worst part.
Yeah. Well,
us guys, I wish I was closer to California, but yeah. Anyway.
So did you guys drive or fly? What'd you do?
We drove. It's only like a 7-hour drive.
Okay, that's not bad. The reason I ask is this is just sort of late breaking stuff here. But in COVID science, since we're about to do a science segment, it's not really a science reason that this is happening, but a federal judge struck down the mask mandate for airlines, and so airlines, they can still choose to enforce it on their own, but they're basically saying, okay, yeah, we're not going to do masks anymore. So
time for me to fly to Vegas.
The one place where you've got 200 people crammed in a tight space, where I would think, despite dips in numbers here in the States, although there's problems in other places and some rising in the coast, but despite all of that, you'd think the one place where you have the most transference of the virus in a tiny little tube, you might keep that going. I'm a little surprised by it, to be honest.
I think, who knows what the real reason is, but it's also, so airline travel has very strangely, and not really strangely, I guess, if you understand what they're doing, but seemingly contradictorily or paradoxically, airlines travel has been in terms of COVID transmission, like super safe this whole time. There's studies have shown that there's been very little transmission that's been linked to the act of everyone getting on a plane together. But I think that's probably because of how strict they've been, including masking. And you'd think that they'd want to keep that so that you could continue to have safe travel and people believing in the safety of airline travel, because that's a really big part of it, of these mandates, right? Is making people feel comfortable, not necessarily like the truth and fact of transmission is important, sure, but but almost more important for the economy is people believing that it's safe, right? Which is one of the big benefits of mask mandates in general in businesses and stuff like that. You enact mask mandates for businesses because you want people to feel safe going to those places of business.
Right.
You know.
Right. Well, I mean, so for whatever reason, despite the fact that there's some indicators that there are numbers on the rise, they're going to go ahead and do this. I think it's kind of insane. I mean, I suppose, I mean, some people are seeing this as a huge victory. They finally don't have to be inconvenienced anymore on an airplane.
Right.
But
whatever.
Fine, whatever. But my practical take is, well, now you're just going to see numbers go up, and then what are you going to do? Like, don't we want them to stay down?
You might not see numbers go up, but you might see airline travel go down.
Yeah, maybe. I just like to see it stay. Like, if we're happy that it's less, how about a few measures just to keep it less? You know, easy ones too. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
it's like saying, you know what, the fecal bacteria in our food at the restaurant is really low now. You know what? We're gonna stop requiring our employees to wash their hands because we don't have the problem anymore.
No, that is exactly that's a perfect comparison because it's exactly the same, and people don't see it that way. Instead, they've got all their politics wrapped up in it, and it's stupid.
Right.
It's freaking stupid. So.
Right.
Whatever, man.
I
still, I hope a bunch of people still wear them. If someone's a dick to you, you have my permission to kick them in the nuts so hard they go up their butthole. Like, whatever.
A dick to you because you're wearing, like, somebody gives me crap for wearing it on the plane still?
Yeah, like people who cough on other people. Those people have a special place in hell.
I haven't run into situations like that in a really, really long time. There are plenty of so Disney didn't require anybody to wear masks. I think if you're not vaccinated, you had to wear them indoors. But if you were vaccinated, you didn't have to. But I didn't see like there was a mix of people wearing masks outdoors and indoors and not and all that kind of stuff. And everybody seemed to not care either way. Everybody was just continuing on and being nice to each other.
Yeah, as long as they're doing that, I don't care what people do. Just don't be dicks, Try not to be a dick if you can help it.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to read this email we got for you this week.
All right.
It actually came out. It was last week, but you were gone, so we've been holding it, and it's been aging like a fine wine. So here it is.
Yeah.
Topher D wrote in. Topher D. That's a cool name.
Topher D.
Says, hi, Space and Balls. Mathematician here with some feedback about your recent science discussion in which you mentioned that if space is infinite, then there must be blank. Earth's exactly like ours, except everyone's ween is gigantic or whatever. Okay, so that was the whole discussion. He wrote that, not me. Infinity does allow for a lot, but it does not necessitate everything. Here's a simple example. Think of real numbers between 0 and 1. There's, let's say, 0.1, and there's 0.11, and 0.111, and maybe even 0.1111. Right? He says, literally... infinity, infinitely is the word I was looking for. Many more extensions of that pattern, each adding one more digit. Also, infinitely many using 2s instead of 1s or 3s, or start making more complex patterns. Right. And that doesn't even touch the no pattern decimal numbers that you could write, or the no pattern never ending ones you could never finish writing. Infinitely many of those too. So, clearly, infinity means real number values between 0 and 1. But this doesn't mean that because there's infinitely many, that any number you can imagine is in there. For example, 2 isn't between 0 and 1, nor is the number I can imagine called Squirville.
Squelve.
Squelve. That's awesome.
Squirrelve. Rhymes with 12.
Yeah, he made it up. Moral of the story: there are infinite variations of what could exist in an infinite universe, but just because you can imagine it doesn't mean it must exist within an infinite space. Love the show, though, Topher. So, What do you think of that?
I think that is an incredibly good point. And I'm surprised. But what?
But isn't all right, saying that there's not a number called squirrel, saying that is like, well, yeah, okay, that couldn't be, that there's no way for that to exist. But having an infinite universe, or, another Earth, parallel Earth, where I don't have a goatee, but everything else is the same. That's a possibility. That's a could exist.
Well, I don't think this emailer is saying that it's not possible. I think they're saying that it's not, because what we were talking about, I remember the conversation. We said that if the universe is infinite, then that must mean that that necessarily means
there has to be
another world that is the same as ours, because it's infinite, right?
All right.
And what this person is saying is that by mathematical law, that is not necessarily true. And this person is true. And who am I to say that they're not true, because this is a mathematician?
Knows the stuff.
I'd merely play one on a podcast.
How is your math? Are you a good mathematician?
I love math. I have a degree in computer science, which is essentially a math degree.
Okay. All right.
But I'm not a mathematician, because we only touched on these like theoretical math topics.
Gotcha.
But I have talked about it, and that's why I was surprised I didn't think about this, because the concept of infinity is really fascinating to me. And I think this is an awesome excuse to talk about what actually infinity is. What do you think infinity is?
Oh man, to answer that question, I mean, in my head, it's like infinity has no end. I don't like when people represent infinity as a loop, because I don't think that's accurate, because a loop implies that you just kind of come back to the same stuff all the time.
Right, exactly. Cyclical.
Yeah, which I guess you could say some things are cyclical or infinite in their repetition, but I'm not talking repetition. In my mind, infinite, if you say, hey, Scott, there's an infinite universe, I would say, okay, well, that means it's got zero end to it, and it's a concept that we have a hard time as humans even grasping, because everything we have has a start and an end to it, including our lives.
Right.
So, when I do finally eat this Taco Bell item, it's going to have a start and a finish.
Yes.
And then another finish later.
And it's cyclical, because it'll come out.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It loops back on itself. But yeah, like I see when I think of infinite in the larger sense, I do think of like, okay, well, if that's true, then the possibility of an Earth just like ours existing is not only possible but probable, because infinite means every chance it would ever have to be just like ours would happen somewhere, plus every possible variation, which is in the kinds of numbers humans can't really comprehend. So that's my take. Brian, do you have an alternate?
That's pretty much my take too. The problem is I paid for Infinity Plus, so I figure I should get more.
You laugh, but that's kind of almost a segue to some topics in the idea of infinity. Yeah, because some infinities, this is going to blow your mind, some infinities are bigger than other infinities.
What?
How is that possible?
What are
exactly.
you saying?
How is that possible? Okay, so first of all, the first thing you have to understand is that infinity is not a number.
Right.
Get rid of that idea in your head. A lot of people, we talk about it like it's a number, but infinity is not a number. It is an idea of something endless, like you were describing.
Right.
It's a concept. It's more of like a quality of thing than it is an actual thing. It's not a number. So you can't think about it as a number. You have to think about it as a quality or a tool. Almost a lot of mathematicians use the concept of infinity as a tool, but the idea is that it's something that doesn't end, and that infinity can be infinite numbers. It can be infinite whatever, infinite space, infinite time. It's just something that doesn't end. Now, how can some infinities be larger or smaller than other infinities? Well, okay, so when mathematicians are talking about like infinities and different sized infinities, they talk about either countable or uncountable infinities. This gets really complicated, and I don't want to dig too deep in it because it's hard to
dig ourselves out of. We could do it. We could talk about it for infinity.
Wow.
Yeah. See what I did?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you like that?
I think you might be the only one who's ever made that observation.
Yep.
But anyway, so this idea of infinity really started to be explored really deeply when this type of mathematics was invented called set theory. And set theory just has to do with like how you group things in math and the mathematics you can do on these sets of things. So the idea of an infinite set came up, which would be a set of things that was never ending. So an infinite set might be the set of integers, like whole numbers. Okay. And so in set theory, the one of the things that's interesting about set theory is you can count things without having to have numbers because you can just match them together. Let's say you are playing musical chairs and you want to know which group is larger, the number of people or the number of chairs, because you need to make sure that the number of chairs is less than the number of people, right? Mm-hmm. You don't if you have no words for numbers, you can still figure that out because you can just match the two things. Which group is larger, the number of people or the number of chairs, and then you know which one is larger or smaller. If you can match one for one people and chairs, then you know those two things are the same size, have the same number,
infinite size.
Yeah, so you can do that with infinities. Let's say you have let's say you have even numbers and you have odd numbers, and we're talking about whole numbers. You can match each of these up one for one. You can match 1 with 2, you can match 3 with 4, 5 with 6, so on and so forth. You will be doing it forever, but you can match them one for one, and therefore you can say that those two groups of infinite things are the same size. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a way of counting in set theory. So one of the so how do you figure out one infinity is larger than another? Well, if you have the number, an infinite set of whole numbers of integers, you can actually, and I won't go through the proof of this because we don't have all the time to go through it, but you can prove that if you have fractions in there, those are countable as well. 1/2, 1/2, 1/3, 1/4. If you have the set of every possible fraction that you can write, that's also countable. It's also the same size, but and it's infinitely large. But if you include all of those, those numbers that are decimal numbers that are repeating forever.
Sure.
Like the person mentioned,
33, right, 33% what it translates to in decimal form.
Sure.
Exactly. Well, that's technically a fractional number. I'm talking about things like pi.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Where it just goes on forever and yeah.
Yeah, pi.
So non-patterned.
Yeah, those are called irrational numbers.
Gotcha.
And they're called irrational not because they don't make any sense, even though maybe they do. But it's because the opposite of that is a rational number, which is one that can be expressed by a ratio or a fraction, right?
Yeah.
An irrational number is like pi or e or something like that. If you include those numbers into the group of integers and fractions, there's a mathematical proof that shows that is actually not countable. You cannot match those numbers up one for one because no matter what two fractions you write next to each other, or irrational numbers, you can always find another number that would fit in between them. And the reason that that's important is because as you're counting it, you can always prove that when you went from this number to the next one, you missed some in the middle.
Oh.
You can always prove that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I won't walk through the proof because it'll take forever. But because of that, those numbers are considered uncountable, and that group of numbers is larger than another infinite set. But that's the whole point, is that infinity is this really insanely complex topic of that's very hard to wrap your brain around, but that's what mathematicians.
That's why they exist. Yeah.
I mean, by consequence, you can actually say that all the even number. I told you the even numbers, the set of all even numbers and the set of all odd numbers is the same sized infinity, right?
Yeah.
But the weird thing about infinity is that if you put the even numbers and the odd numbers together and just say all whole numbers, the set of all whole numbers is actually still the same size as just the set of even numbers, even though it seems like it should be half the size. It's still the same size because it's infinitely long. You can still always match them up one for one.
Ooh, weird.
Even though, and that's just really hard for us to wrap our heads around, right?
It is. Yeah. Well, the concept in general. Obviously, mathematics gets us closer to a fuller understanding, but I just don't think we have. I don't know the brain for those levels of thinking so much.
Well, that's what mathematics does, right? Yeah. Mathematics is a set of rules and it condenses things down and tries to understand these abstract concepts using logical rules so that we can wrap our brains around it.
Yeah.
And it's just really hard. And there are practical applications to understanding these seemingly pointless concepts, right? Mm-hmm. Understanding infinity actually is what led to calculus, which helps us do solve innumerable number of problems.
Oh,
right?
Sure.
Because the idea was the classic description of how calculus was or why calculus was formed is that who was it? Newton, I think. Sir Isaac Newton.
He's the one with he got the fruit to the head. That
the
was
apple,
his deal.
yeah, the apple bunk in his noggin.
Yeah.
Right. So he was trying to figure out. He was trying to figure out what the area underneath a curve on a graph was. If it's like a curvy graph and not just like a square shape. If it's an irregular shape that's like curvy and weird, how do you figure out how much stuff can fit under there? And he was trying to solve that problem, and he found that, well, if you draw rectangles under it, you can compute the area of the rectangles. Well, if you make those rectangles skinnier and skinnier, then you get closer and closer to the real answer. Well, what if we just arbitrarily say that those rectangles are infinitesimally small?
Yeah.
And then how can we add all those up? And that solved the problem. And that's what calculus does, is it deals with the infinitesimal. And
you know what? I'm going to admit to something embarrassing here.
Yeah.
For years, well, up through my 20s, I guess. But somebody had told me in junior high that the reason Newton was so smart was because he got hit with that apple. And it caused some kind of not brain damage, but some sort of something that made him it clicked on a switch in there physically.
Brain improvage.
Yeah, brain improvage from getting whacked in the head by a giant apple. And that's why he was so smart. And before that, he was just a dummy like the rest of us. And I believed that dumb story for years and years and years. I was probably 25 before somebody said, dude, what are you doing? And I figured it out.
Yeah. That's like that? We call that the Looney Tunes logic of learning.
Did you start spending all your time under apple trees, Scott?
No, but you'd think I
would. I'm going to eat my lunch under the apple tree.
Yeah, you'd think I would. And things that
fingers crossed.
They don't fall off in the way that you'd hope. It just seemed like a 1 in a million chance. So it never happened. Also, here's another thing that bugged me. This is a side note, but the Infinity brand of cars, they make luxury vehicles. That's never sat well with me because that car's not going to last forever. There's no way.
No,
like it's going to.
They want you to think it will.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yeah, that's why they spell it with an I at the end instead of a Y, because it's infinity.
Yeah, that's what the lawyers said they needed.
Quotation marks.
Yeah,
exactly.
And by the way, the chat's right. TRPW. I want to make this clear. I know this too, but Newton did not get hit with any apple. That is true.
Right. Yeah, there was exactly just like the
but all the cartoons,
tree, Washington. It's all made up.
All the cartoons that Brian and I grew up with. He's always getting hit in the head with an apple.
Schoolhouse Rock showed an apple. Your
Damn
Honor.
Straight. I rest my case.
Can you prove Newton never got hit with an apple?
No.
Prove it. You can't.
You can't.
Exactly.
Prove it. You can't.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Try. Don't even try. That's what prove it you can't means. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. We've gone from infinity to infinity and beyond.
And beyond.
And I had a really good time understanding all of that. So thanks for addressing it. And if you guys have questions for Bobby like that, please keep them coming. The morning stream.
I love when we get questions because it's the easiest way for me to come up with things to talk about.
Yeah, that's right.
It's content that makes you content.
Yeah, it's content and a content. Excellent. Hey, Bobby, anything else going on with All Around Science you'd like to tell the fine folks about?
Well, I would like to say I won't be here next week.
No, darn it. Where are we gonna? Oh, I'm gonna miss seeing you on Tuesday.
I'm taking a trip to Vegas. I don't know if you guys.
Maybe we'll go too. Maybe we'll meet you up there.
Oh, that's a pretty good idea.
Hey, I'd be happy for you guys to join me up there. Anybody else who wants to come who's listening?
Live Fremont Street science, the science of topless nuns and things you don't want to pick up off the sidewalk.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk about the 5-second rule and
No, it does not apply in Vegas.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh, I should mention, by the way, if we end up having the wherewithal or a way to decently record our live show, like audio of our live show, well, I'll put that up on the feed too. I keep forgetting to mention that, but
well, yeah, you will be part of the TMS live thing because I need you to be part of the TMS live thing.
Oh, I didn't know that, Bobby. Is that true? So what's Bobby gonna do? You gonna put him up
I got
there?
an email from Brian yesterday, so apparently it's happening.
Oh, okay.
As did Scott.
Yeah. Did I get
we were on the same email.
And Scott Fletcher and Amy and
did I get
who am I
copied on it?
forgetting?
Did I go to my spam or something? I don't think I got it.
Oh well, fine.
I might have. I may have gone to spam. My
That's
spam.
all right. You already know you're going to be part of the live.
Yeah, I know. I know what's going on. I'll be fine. Yes. All right. Well, that's great, Bobby. I'm very excited to see you there. So.
Before you kick me off, there is one I want to say. What was just came out on the All Around Science feed. You would probably be interested in this, Scott, because it's about kids, and I know how much you and I both enjoy.
Kids are great.
I shouldn't say it that way.
Yeah, it's all coming out weird, but I know what you mean. The development, happiness, and growth of children is a key thing we're both interested in. Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
But we talked about we had a kind of free form discussion episode because it was filler content while I was at Disney. But we talked about kids and how we talk to our kids about science and our ideas of how to teach children and the best ways to do that and stuff like that. So Maura and I both have kids, and so we think a lot about that, and that was a big part of the last week's episode. And then I also, as a treat, included, speaking of ANTP, I included my science podcasting origin story on there, which was a piece of the first piece of science content I ever created was on my season 2 of ANTP.
Nice.
And I included that in that episode as fun content as well.
Nice. It's all good, fun content.
So, All Around Science is the name of the podcast, in case I forgot to say that. So go look for it.
Go look for it. It's wherever you get it. Bobby, have a great week. We'll see you next week in person.
See ya.
Bye now.
See you, Bobby.
In person.
In person. Yes.
Explain the science of that.
Yeah. So you and I'll talk about one part of the TMS Live thing. I guess I have to figure out, do we have a table? And if we don't have a table and microphones, well, then that part maybe doesn't happen, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Some of this stuff you don't know till we're right up in it, and it's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the nature of Vegas.
Sometimes you got to fly by the seat of your pants in Vegas.
Yeah. Vegas is,
sometimes the seat of your pants is going down the side of the stratosphere.
With a really tight front crotch bit, whatever that thing was.
It really was.
Yeah. It was really tight. The photo is all the proof you need of how tight Brian's crotch was that day. Yes. All right, we're out of here.
Circumcised or not with that damn photo.
A little extra skin helps. We're out of here. Thank you all very much. We're going to go to patreon.com/TMS is how this show is supported. If you like this and other content that we produce, we'd love it if you sallied on up and did it. Patreon.com/TMS will get you there. All kinds of bonus content. You only need to sign up. Frogpants.com/TMS for everything else. It is time for us to go, but before we do, we will leave you with music. Brian?
Yeah. Got a request for Audie Norman, or Oddly Normal, as we know him, also an ANTP contestant, who says, "Hey, art dude and song guy. So, me and some pals recently started up a new podcast. We actually advertised it yesterday. Heck, you might even know a few of them. It's Amy Frost, TV's Travis, Steven Adams from Two Dorks, and me talking classic TV. The show's called Those Were the Days, and this coming Monday, yesterday, we were talking about one of my favorite shows, The Greatest American Hero. Yep, a big shameless plug to request a cover of Believe It or Not by Joey Scarberry. Whatever kind of cover you've got, we'll take it. Thanks for all you guys do. Love the show, though. Audie."
Oh, thanks, Audie.
Any excuse to play a cover of Believe It or Not. A song that really doesn't get covered enough. There is no postmodern jukebox cover of Believe It or Not, and there should be.
Yep.
There's no Pomplamoose cover of Believe It or Not, and there absolutely should be. Vitamin String Quartet, I don't think, has a version.
Yeah.
So get on it, you frequent coverers of things. But this version is pretty damn good. This one comes to us from a band called Gas Hammer. And it comes from a 2009 album called Channel Surfing. The Tailomaniacs adds a little bit of a harder edge to that song that was originally by Mike Post, TV theme extraordinaire, with vocals by Joey Scarberry. Here is, believe it or not, the theme from The Greatest American Hero.
Oh, very nice. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Come back for recommendals and all that fun stuff on a Wednesday. We'll see you guys then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Hey, is it too early to get a fish sandwich?
Chad, that is correct. That is the